Lucas wasn't a treasure hunter, but a single father, carpenter, and handyman, looking only for the basics: wood and peace. After his wife left, raising his daughter, Sophia, became his only mission. His work often led him to forgotten places, which is how he ventured into Silverwood Forest, an area known for abandoned farms and old smuggler tales. The sun barely penetrated the dense tree canopy. He was looking for old planks on a municipal concession when, through a curtain of vines and shrubs, he glimpsed a structure. It wasn't a cabin, but a massive barn, built with stone and hardwood, surprisingly intact, yet completely isolated from the world. The door was sealed with a rusty padlock, nearly swallowed by time. The collapsed fence showed that no one had passed there for decades. Lucas felt that familiar pulse, the one every scrap hunter knows, that something valuable might be inside. He prepared to force the entrance, but noticed something strange. There were no animal tracks, no evidence that nature had claimed the interior area. It was as if the barn was in a state of suspended animation. The heavy air and the strong smell of mold and old oil promised a revelation, but he wasn't prepared for what was coming. With bolt cutters, he broke the lock. The door groaned, and a cold, dusty puff of air escaped, carrying the scent of antiquity. Inside, the darkness was nearly absolute. Lucas turned on his phone's flashlight. The beam revealed rusty tools, petrified cement bags, and, in the center, under a thick gray canvas sheet, an unmistakable silhouette. A low, wide, and aerodynamic shape that didn't belong in a barn, let alone a forest. It was a sealed secret. Lucas approached the canvas with a mixture of fear and excitement. His hands, accustomed to sandpaper and hammers, trembled slightly. He pulled back the tarp. The sound of the fabric dragging on 50-year-old dust seemed like thunder in the barn's silence. And then the revelation. The dirt and time could not conceal the color, a vibrant pollen yellow that defied the darkness. It was a Lamborghini Aventador, the pinnacle of Italian design, a machine with over 700 horsepower, completely out of place. The car was surprisingly preserved, almost new. The odometer? Just 800 kilometers, about 500 miles. It wasn't an abandoned vehicle. It was a hidden vehicle. Lucas inspected the car. There were no license plates. The interior of black leather and Alcantara looked intact, although covered with a thin layer of dust. He felt a pang of guilt, as if he were profaning a sanctuary, but the curiosity was overwhelming. He opened the front trunk, which was empty. The V12 engine compartment was clean, but the tires were flat. It was in the center console that he found the first artifact, a small secret compartment activated by a camouflaged button. Inside, a leather case contained not the car's paperwork, but a black-bound logbook and an encrypted USB key. The diary was filled with geographical coordinates and annotations in nervous handwriting. The only legible date was April 19, 2016, nearly 10 years ago. Lucas left the barn, closed the door, and replaced the seal with a new padlock. He had to process this. It wasn't scrap he had found. It was a piece of a high-stakes puzzle. He held the key to a mystery that dust and time had tried to bury. The Aventador, an icon of speed and wealth, had a dark past. He needed help. Lucas spent the night awake, examining the logbook. The notes were not a narrative, but an obsessive record of meetings and data transfers, all with code names: Anchor, Icarus, Project Phoenix. He realized that, like the brothers of the SS Dauntless, he hadn't found a car, but the final evidence of a crime. He used an old laptop to access the USB stick, but it was protected by military-grade encryption. Lucas was a carpenter, not a hacker. He remembered the 2016 date. A quick search of old news revealed a case that shook the country that year: the disappearance of a financial technology startup CEO, Arthur Vesper. Vesper had vanished along with $25 million in digital assets in what was classified as the Phantom Heist, a robbery that never had an identified getaway vehicle. Lucas connected the dots. The car was there, hidden miles from any main road, with low mileage and sealed like a time capsule, dated to the year of the crime. The Aventador's pollen yellow was a rare color. The logbook, the coordinates, everything pointed to the Phantom Heist. Vesper had become Captain Thorne, and the barn the new SS Dauntless. Lucas knew he couldn't simply sell the car or try to clean it. His honesty, motivated by Sophia, was more important than any fortune. He needed legal expertise, someone who knew how to navigate the waters of asset recovery. Hey everyone, quick break. The story of this Lamborghini is insane, right? If you're enjoying this vibe of mystery and unearthing secrets, you're in the right place. We're very close to hitting our subscriber goal, and your like and subscription make a gigantic difference. Comment below. What color would you paint this Aventador? Now, let's get back to the good old Silverwood Forest mystery. Dr. Chun and Lucas focused their entire investigation on the Aventador as the digital money time capsule. But upon fully deciphering the logbook and cross-referencing the coordinates, they found a shocking discrepancy. The diary didn't just contain Arthur Vesper's escape plan. It also featured a series of much later annotations, hastily scribbled on the final pages, made by someone else. The handwriting was different, and the notes spoke of extra cargo and maximum security, mentioning a different hiding spot within the barn itself. Vesper had hidden the Aventador, but someone, whom Lucas and the police soon identified as the anchor, Vesper's treacherous partner and creditor, had gotten there first, shortly before the barn was sealed by local authorities due to tax issues. The anchor wasn't interested in the cryptocurrency keys. He was after an invaluable physical treasure. Lucas returned to the barn, accompanied by the legal team. What they were looking for wasn't in the car. The diary indicated the anchor had used the most robust structure of the barn, the concrete floor supporting the central pillar, to hide an item that was easy to transport but highly concentrated in value. Using a high-precision metal detector, the alarm sounded at the exact location noted in the annotations. Federal police, alerted, broke open the concrete and found a small, sturdy, vacuum-sealed safe. It wasn't gold bars, but the modern equivalent. A collection of high-purity rough diamonds, stolen from a South African mine in 2017. A crime that had remained unsolved for years. The value of this extra cargo was estimated at $12 million. The Aventador was the luxurious decoy. The true physical treasure, the anchor's prize, was hidden in the barn's filthy floor. Lucas hadn't just found the end of the phantom heist. He had uncovered the origin of the fortune used to finance the crime, the mystery of the Kalanga mine diamonds. Lucas contacted a law firm specializing in historical asset recovery, the same kind of professional help the brothers in the original story needed. He presented the diary, the photo of the Aventador in the barn, and the connection to the 2016 phantom heist. The initial shock of the lawyer, Dr. Elias Chun, was palpable. The legal team and the cyber police managed to partially decrypt the USB key and the diary. The Aventador was not just the getaway vehicle. It was the safe. Arthur Vesper, the missing CEO, had modified the engine compartment to hide an encrypted hard drive, the true digital treasure, containing the private keys to the $25 million in stolen cryptocurrencies. The car was supposed to be recovered by an accomplice, likely the anchor. But Vesper, like Captain Thorne, had changed his mind. Thorne was fleeing war. Vesper was fleeing the corporate world and his treacherous partner. The diary revealed that Vesper hid the car and prepared to disappear, planning to use the Aventador as a decoy. Whoever found it would find the mystery, but not necessarily the money. Vesper fled with a false identity, leaving the car sealed as his final confession. Federal authorities, who had the case filed for years, mobilized. The barn property was traced. It belonged to an offshore holding company linked to one of Vesper's former investors, the anchor of the story. The Aventador was, in fact, waiting for the criminal to return, but Lucas got there first. Lucas's barn, the old wood and scrap hideout, was turned into a federal crime scene. Experts carefully dismantled parts of the car, and finally, they found the hard drive, vacuum-sealed, hidden within the engine structure, just like the secret compartment of the SS Dauntless. The recovery of the hard drive was flawless. The private key was validated. The $25 million in digital assets, which had appreciated in value, were now accessible. The phantom heist case was closed. The Lamborghini Aventador, a stolen and modified vehicle, was seized. It was the proof of the crime, the steel heart of the escape. The car itself did not belong to Lucas, but his honesty and the accuracy of his discovery, based on the logbook and the exact location, were invaluable. Under asset recovery law and the Treasury's gratitude, Lucas was rewarded. The law allows a significant finder's fee for those who recover criminal assets. The final settlement? A surprising amount. Lucas and his daughter Sophia received a total payment of $4.8 million. Lucas's life changed forever. He used the money to found his own consulting firm for abandoned property valuation, using his field knowledge and honesty as his trademark. He kept a framed photo of the Lamborghini Aventador covered in dust. The driver's plate? The only thing Vesper had left. A small engraved inscription, "Freedom." The barn in Silverwood Forest, which should have only given him a few old planks, gave him a fortune, the end of a mystery, and a new beginning for him and his daughter. The story of the Lamborghini Aventador proves that the past, no matter how deeply buried, always has a price, and sometimes a life-changing prize. And that's another story of forgotten machines that guard million-dollar secrets. If you were moved by Lucas's luck and honesty, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Every week, a new mystery about abandoned cars awaits you. See you next time.